Limp, you're flexing. Let's go, Limp.
You're flexing. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Davi. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie. Welcome back to another Tony Tuesday.
How you doing?
Also known as Tony Wednesday.
Sorry. Couldn't get it out on Tuesday this week. Or maybe I did. And we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, whenever you're watching this, it might be Tony Tuesday or it might be Tony Wednesday.
For our viewers and listeners, we hope you guys are doing well. Just a quick heads up. This episode is also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, specifically the discussion portion of the show. So if you're looking for our discussion with this show, hit the link in the description. You'll find that as well. And also, Uncut Reaction on Patreon. If you're looking for that, also hit the link in the description and you'll find the link there as well. And thank you so much to our Patreons, our subscribers. You guys mean the world to us, and also our subscribers here on YouTube. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell.
But if you want to join us on Patreon, it's only $5 a month and you get every single episode that we do uncut.
And early.
And early.
And early, yes. But how you doing?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah.
We're good.
Getting
Good.
close to the holidays.
Yeah, it's getting busy.
It's Monday.
Totally separate pages. I'm like, I'm literally just like
Spitballing?
Yeah.
Getting ready
No,
for the
not
holidays.
spitball. I'm done with work. I'm like tired. So
You're just
my
ready
brain
for a
is
break.
I'm ready for the break, but I
Yeah.
have jury duty next week for the first time in my life.
Whoa.
Damn.
Right before Christmas, isn't that weird? I feel like it's not going to happen.
You think your trial is gonna be like organized crime? You're gonna.
No. Imagine I walk in.
You
It's
could get
Tony
out.
Soprano.
You could get out of it if you tell them you watch The Sopranos and be like, he's gonna be.
Oh, no. He knows all the things. Yeah.
No, kidding.
Before we get into this episode, Abe, can you read comments from our previous episode, please?
Yes, I can. Before I get into any specific comments, we got a ton of comments about the situation with the witness and the newspaper they read at the end and discovering that it was Tony Soprano. People said we were overanalyzing it. Totally get that if we were thinking too hard about it. Just remember, this is our first time watching the show. Up to this point, it feels like many times Tony is like very well known around like the surrounding places that we see. In Jersey, he showed up on the news. They've mentioned him as a mob boss and affiliation with the mob on the news. So it just felt a little strange that someone was turning him in, saw the name A. Soprano on the thing. Maybe he didn't think about it too much, but it just felt weird. That's the only reason we were talking about it so much. But we totally get he realized at the end he didn't know who Tony was. That's fine. It's just something that we called out in the moment that we saw on first watch. Yeah. So apologies to everybody who's freaking out about that. But that's where our heads were at. All right, now to the actual comments. This one comes from Crazy Mustang 99. The ending with the small boat tipping over and the Stugatz to me shows a metaphor on how Mr. Big Rich Tony doesn't care about the small boats, Davy, and can tip them over with ease. The bust out, with Tony smiling and wading off into the sunset as he created havoc for someone else's life. That's a really good symbolism.
Wow.
That's a good shout. And
Like that.
he's teaching it now to his son.
Right.
You know, you know what I'm saying? Like he's showing that not even only to his son, like now he's doing it to, in this metaphorical way, to Anthony Jr., but he also like firsthand showed Meadow by like taking Eric's car, giving it to her, and like, you know what I mean? Like these things are bleeding into his personal life and into his family. So that's a really good call out with that metaphor. Next one comes from Ruby, who says, Livia sliding down from upstairs saying, "Are you smoking marijuana?" had me in tears, especially when the honest answer to that was, "Of course not. I was just holding a gun to your daughter's head while we did it doggy style as she pressured me to kill your son. That's all."
It's more like, are you smoking marijuana?
I honestly think that Livia would flinch less at the fact that that explanation than them smoking marijuana. I think she would be more up in arms about them smoking.
I think if she caught them doing that, she would die right there. Have a heart attack.
All right, and the last one comes from Buella. Tony pursues affairs of the flesh. Carmela pursues affairs of the heart. Do y'all agree?
Maybe.
I think there was...
But it depends. I think she mostly does, but not entirely.
Yeah, I think there's more of the heart in there with her. But the whole Vic thing with the last episode, like she was looking at that man like a piece of meat, like every time, like the first time she saw him and like after that. So that was very clearly like flesh to me. Yeah. I think the priest one, you could definitely say a little bit more heart, like there wasn't any actual physical stuff happening, but a lot more of emotional connection.
You could say there was some sympathy there because he lost his wife.
Yep.
So
true.
There was some information that was
Yeah.
she knew about him.
Yeah. Very true.
But I think even before that, I think that was just maybe the cherry on top, because just at first glance, her eyes were already like, she was already kind of infatuated with him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But we'll see how the show continues, and I'm pretty sure we'll probably get more of that contrast between the two. I do think.
I don't know. I
Will
think
Carmela still pursue other affairs?
maybe other affairs, but with this guy, I
No,
don't
no,
know
no.
if it's
I'm just
He's
being
out of
in
the
general.
picture.
No, no. I'm saying he's out of the picture. I'm just saying in general.
Well, we don't know he's fully out of the picture, but he's like avoiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's being smart.
But with that being said, y'all, Charlie episode 11.
House arrest.
arrest.
Oh, so we're focusing on Uncle Junior.
Or somebody
could
else.
be.
Someone else. Yeah.
House arrest to me, that's like one of 3 people. It's either Uncle Junior, could also be Sal, Pussy,
Okay.
Yeah, that's true too.
or Tony. Because the agents have been showing up to his house.
But he's not under arrest. Like at least we left off with him feeling like he was in the clear.
So we'll see if anything
Yeah.
changes.
So, yeah.
Garbage day.
Yeah, man. Don't forget he's in waste management.
Oh, yeah, true. Haven't seen anything to do with waste management in a hot second with Tony. So,
Wonder what kind of waste they're here to collect.
drugs, dead bodies.
Oh,
What the
Oh, they're dumping it all over.
They didn't pay their
Yo.
taxes.
Yeah,
Probably.
they definitely didn't pay
Yeah.
their.
To Tony, yeah, they probably didn't pay.
Bro,
Oh my God, bro.
what a mess.
Your driver. He comes here, he dumps the garbage all over the place.
So this wasn't Tony?
That was Richie.
Yeah, you called yesterday to complain? Oh, that's our policy. It's written on our trucks. Double your garbage back if you're not satisfied.
You didn't make full pickups on 12th, 16th, 20th. And then I get charged double for it.
Right. We had to come out twice. We'll try to send the truck out tomorrow.
Oh my God.
They're going to dump it again.
I thought it was going to be much worse. Like they wronged him in a way worse way.
Isn't it fair to say we were staring into the abyss? A very close call at brush with a murder beef.
I told you. I was home alone.
You and Macaulay Culkin.
Who got a star on the Walk of Fame?
Yeah.
His voice didn't change.
Not at all.
What the fuck you want from me?
Use one of the businesses we've got you in for something besides showing income on a tax return. Spend time at Garden State Rennery.
Please, you know what boiling fat smells like?
He's right, though.
Get your ass out of that strip club and go there. The feds are a business, Anthony.
His lawyer's being mad smart, though. He's like, bro, you own these businesses. If you're not there, that's even more suspicious.
Mother of fucking mercy. Would you take a sledgehammer to my balls?
Yeah, that's just the incision where I inserted the stent.
You have to watch your heart.
My heart's fine. When I get out of here, we're going to a discotheque. You and me.
Discotheque.
What's so funny?
They don't call it that anymore, buddy.
Europe, they
I'm
do.
Michael McLuhan from the U.S. Marshal Service, here to reattach your electronic bracelet.
So we are following Junior.
We are.
Excuse me, your name's really McLuhan?
Right.
So that makes you Marshall McLuhan.
That's right.
Well, what's the fucking joke?
I don't get it either. Someone explain. So what did they do to him? Did
Some sort of procedure in his balls.
he get a vasectomy?
At this age, bro, I would hope you don't need one.
I know, right? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Scorsese's pumping out kids still. Not Scorsese.
Jesus.
De Niro.
De Niro, yeah,
Niro's
he
pumping out
is.
kids still.
He is.
That's wild.
One mouth, 2 ears, listen to each other.
Oh, she does marriage counseling. TS.
Taylor Swift?
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
I'm dead.
She's like, I'm going to have to get
Yo.
buzzed for this appointment.
Yo.
Wow. She put a lot too. Jesus.
God damn.
That's like 3 shots.
More.
More.
That's a full. Look at that glass.
Yeah, that's like 7.
Okay, Dr. Melfi.
That's at least. It was like 4 to 5. That was hefty.
We've never gotten something like that, I think. I don't believe so.
No.
I don't know. I'm bored or something. I don't want to come here no more.
Well, not the first time we've heard you say that.
Well, no offense, but let's face it. This is starting to feel like a waste of time. I'm sure for the both of us.
I don't feel that way.
It's like the other day, I'm watching this movie with Brad Pitt and that blonde.
Sliding doors?
Fuck no.
7.
7.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What a film. Fincher.
But halfway through it, I'm thinking, this is bullshit. Wasting my fucking time. Why do I give a shit who the killer is?
What's in the box?
So I shut it off.
What did you do instead?
Went out in the yard, burned ants with a magnifying glass. What's the matter? You still in mourning over the coming of managed care?
Go on.
It seemed like she was slurring her words a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I hear depression talking.
Yeah, well, I'm not up on my dosage. Medication. What do I got to show for it?
Who knows where you'd be without the medication? Anyway, some people take pleasure in the simple doing of things.
You know what I think?
Fingers.
She's usually so much more elaborate with her responses.
My question is, has she been drunk in sessions before?
It doesn't
No,
seem
it
like
doesn't
it.
seem like
right?
it.
She was very much more responsive
Yeah.
in other sessions.
Corrado? Thought that was you. Catherine. Romano.
Catherine.
Mr. Soprano, you have to stay in the wheelchair to leave the building. Hospital rules.
So call a cop.
You remember my Chucky?
Little Chucky. He drove the bike for the butchers.
He doesn't have pain in his balls anymore. Man got right up.
He's a cop now, like his father.
He's a good egg, your Lou. He was a real straight shooter. He had a lot of class.
Maybe we could have coffee. Catch up. There's an IHOP by the dry cleaners.
Ah, the old person's hangout spot.
Got that wheelchair Riz.
Sir? It's a chair.
They brought the
Call a cop.
They brought the hospital bouncer, it seems like. He's the guy who they called to hold you down when they need to give you a shot in your ass.
Yeah. Someone let the puppy go. I mean, he might bite someone's ankle if he does.
No, it's okay. He don't bite. Owner saying that. He don't bite. It's okay. He doesn't bite.
fine.
He's fine. He's fine. It's good.
Connie!
This is Mr. Soprano,
Tony, how you doing?
Connie DeSapio.
Nice rack.
born again Christian.
Oh, yeah?
This man, bro.
One of Zanoni's drivers, the illustrated man, Richie's got him running an operation, selling blow along the routes. Now, the Department of Sanitation I can handle, Tony, but if the DEA gets involved, we're gonna lose our 901. I'm sorry, I don't like to break your balls.
You know that piece of shit's gonna be my brother-in-law?
The RICO Act, Elliot. We sat there and we talked about the fucking RICO Act.
Wow.
Cards on the table time. How's the drinking?
Worse, I guess.
Are you an alcoholic?
I am drinking in between sessions. Just on the days that I see him, I can't take it.
Are you taking steps to seriously end it?
He wanted to end it. He said last time he wanted to stop coming, but I talked him out of it.
Why?
Elliot, it's like that thing with watching a train wreck. I'm afraid and repulsed by what he might tell me, but somehow I can't stop myself from wanting to hear it.
Yeah, there's like layers behind that. Because it's not only interesting to her and like she somehow wants to hear it.
Yeah.
She's also having this like logic and heart like battling thing where she's like, I need to treat him, but I really shouldn't.
Per cubic inch. Keep your airway nice and open when you're sleeping.
Oh, this man wears CPAP.
Makes me look like a sick man.
You're not sick. But testing shows REM-wise, you have 40 arousals per hour.
More since I met you.
Good God.
Arousals mean a change in your stages of sleep. You are such a flirt. I'll stop by tomorrow, okay? See how you did?
Counting the beats.
Okay, Junior.
When you're that age, you can get away with saying shit like that.
It's the CPAP Riz, bro.
He said
Straight up.
CPAP.
Man's got layers to his wrist.
Catherine's there.
Oh, Catherine, what a surprise.
He's acting all.
I'm changing his demeanor.
He's acting all hurt and shit.
Is this a bad time for a visit?
Actually, the nurse just got here. We're about to have my examination.
Maybe Friday then. I volunteer at the bingo since Louis passed. Enjoy the manicute.
You're awful.
What'd you send that lady away for?
What the hell would we have in common? Bunyan. You know how I feel about feet.
There's something else going on there. One second he's into her, the other he's not.
Yeah.
Right now we're at $2,000 a day, but with the DOS breaking our balls, I gotta with the ins and outs. Paperwork, you know? Lists the gross tonnage. I gotta file it in triplicate every day.
Right.
Yo, he looks out of it.
Sanitation is exciting, brother.
Have you met Helen Barone?
Hi, Jan Soprano. Nice to meet you, Jan.
Jan.
She's going by Jan now.
Pavarotti is no more.
You don't sell that shit along those routes. You understand me?
I'm working with Junior on this.
I don't give a shit if you're working with Walmart. Knock it the f off. After 5 years, the cops are finally leaving garbage alone. A drug bust on one of those routes, it's a different story. You got the FBI, the DEA, all those fucking pricks are gonna be breathing down our necks again. You're my uncle. You wanna deal drugs, it's your business. You do it on association garbage routes, it's my fucking business. It stops today. You got it? Don't give me your fucking Manson lamps. Just fucking stop.
Manson lamps? He's saying he looks like a serial killer?
Yeah.
Like his eyes?
Yo.
Yo, yeah, he looks like he's gonna kill. Holy shit.
He did not like that.
Nope. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna.
Oh, no.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, shit. The sweat.
Oh, dude, it's going to happen in front of everyone. That's the worst part. Take a seat, Tony. That's not going to help, bro.
It's only gonna hurt.
He's out.
Call an ambulance! Tony! Watch his head. Come on.
Ooh. He grabbed his chest, brother. You have a heart attack?
For Christ's sake, I just passed out. If it's nothing physical, then what the f is wrong with me?
Anxiety.
I would think you would be relieved.
No, I'll be relieved when somebody puts their finger on whatever the f it is that's wrong with me. I wish it was something physical so I could have it ripped the f out.
You know, losing some weight wouldn't hurt.
Got him. Dang.
Who was at the door before?
That lady from the other day. The one with the monogar. They said you were sleeping.
Why didn't you wake me?
What?
What does this brother want?
Roberta San Filippo. didn't call back, did she?
Yeah, T. It's me.
Hey, I feel like we haven't seen Silvio in a while.
With the gun, you see that?
Bro.
It's all original World War II shit.
I know nothing. Nothing.
Tone, I am looking at the fucking History Channel here.
Right up his alley.
We have ways of dealing with you, Mr. Soprano.
Now I better listen to the lawyer. You guys go ahead without me.
It's the laying low. That's what's getting him so bored.
But it's what he has to do. Let's see if he sticks with it, because...
Hey, man, if it was the 21st century, could have FaceTimed him, showed him everything.
Yeah, you see, but you see,
21st
like,
century.
he's,
It is the 21st century.
he's seeing
If it
his
was-
wife hanging out with her friends, and he's not being able to hang out with his.
Yeah. I don't know why I said 21st century. If it was like 2010s, could have been FaceTiming them.
Excuse me, could you move your cigarette?
Pardon me?
It's blowing into my son's face. Thank you.
We're allowed to smoke.
Unfortunately, an area where New Jersey is woefully behind.
Mom, it's no big deal.
It's no big deal to move it either.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna move it.
Uh-oh.
It's a health hazard. Move it. My son has taken the trouble in his own life to live in a smoke-free dorm.
This man smokes. You gonna come out and light a cigarette.
Yeah.
This is silly. Could you just move the fucking thing?
Not when you talk like that.
Please?
No.
No?
No.
She must be drunk.
Excuse me, what did you say?
Will you call the police?
I don't think that's warranted, but ma'am.
Oh, no, please call the police because I'm not the one with a lethal weapon here.
Yo, she's being a Karen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, did we not see in season 1 she was driving her son's car and he had a box of cigarettes in the car?
That's a very interesting detail to remember. I do not remember that.
That was when she picked up Tony, remember, in the middle of the night in the car?
I don't remember either.
Bro, is this man still trying to clear the goddamn
Disposal?
Hello.
Oh, my
He's got to
In
be
here.
careful.
In here, the kitchen.
Oh, unless his hand is stuck.
Where you been? I've been calling you all afternoon.
My fucking hand is stuck down the drain, and I can't reach the fucking phone.
How long you been standing there?
6 hours. Now get the fucking detergent and lubricate my wrist.
That's funny as hell.
Why didn't you just call a plumber?
With what? My fucking toes?
Let's go limp. Limp, you're flexing. Let's go limp.
You're flexing.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. This fucking house. I'm dying here.
Everyone is just out of it in this episode.
That's the parallel of
Yeah.
Junior and Tony. It's literally, they're both technically under house arrest.
Yeah.
This way.
It's light.
Got your nephew to thank for that. He said we can't sell coke on the route anymore.
What?
That's what he said. I guess nobody should eat but him.
Where did he get the effrontery?
He's the boss.
And this shit is okay with you?
I know how much you love him, Junior. I don't want to say anything disparaging.
Yeah, he's playing his cards well here. Trying to rile
He's
him up.
smart, man.
No, he's so smart.
so good with it.
Passive aggressive, pure and simple.
He's like a kid at work, at their parents' job.
Yeah.
Kind of like reminding me of Anthony.
Oh, bro.
Whoa.
Think it's time you considered a 12-step program?
I'm not an alcoholic, Elliot.
Certified alcoholic.
Phase 1, denial.
I'm also prescribing Luvox.
Luvox is for OCD.
Among other things, I've had success with it treating other compulsions as well.
Compulsions, Elliot? Come on.
Your patient, Jennifer, your inability to bring the therapy to a conclusion.
I honestly believe that he's not ready.
Refer him to another doctor.
I really think that I'm...
Obsessed?
You should be happy at least. The stent was a complete success. Let's not tempt fate by taxing the heart.
How many MiGs you shoot down last week?
You get it? It looks like he's like a fighter pilot.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Where's that fucking man to go?
He ate it all.
Gone. There's a fucking tray in there.
I know where it is.
I see it.
I'll write you a script for cortisone cream. Dr. Cusimano tells me you've been seeing a psychotherapist.
So?
I suggest you talk about stress management with him.
Nah, again, bro?
Is this Richie?
It's got to be.
Oh, no, it's Tony with the born again Christian girl. Bro, what the fuck?
Why do I get shocked? Why am I still here getting shocked?
Well,
if I haven't seen this shit.
I was gonna say like he's gonna cheat again with that one, but
Relieving the stress.
When he gets stressed out, he does.
Yeah, that's what he does.
You think you'll come down on the price?
looking at a new house.
Tony, it's your sister. Would it kill you to take a little interest?
No, it's for them.
Talked to my uncle the other day, Rich. So we're clear on this drug shit, right, Richie? Now, the reason I'm asking, 850 grand's a pretty big nut. I don't know if your parole job at the fish market's gonna cover it.
These walls, skim coat. Not that plain sheetrock shit. Not only that, they put on a lawn this year. It's new. When'd you put your lawn in?
He's talking shit, man. Was he claiming that house is 850 grand?
Yeah, I think so.
What's the matter? Nothing. Just,
Oh, he's getting me again.
feel hot.
Oh my God, you're all clammy. Come on, let's get you home.
No. You stay with them and help them, and I'll see you later.
Don't get
Bad
me.
idea.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Don't do it, Carmela. Don't let him go. Oh yeah, 850 for that house. Yeah, sure.
But look at the size of it.
Huge.
The fact that it's under $1 million. Obviously, it's that time
Yeah,
period.
2000s.
What are you doing?
Organizing a basketball pool. No, for the people in the office.
Yeah, sounds great. Should be fun. Listen, I got a call from a friend of mine in Nutley. Guy's a cop. They got Richie's driver on video. He sold 3 ounces of coke at an arcade down there.
It's all right. I talked to Richie.
This was last night.
Guess we'll have to torch a truck or something.
Not good.
Think I'm trying to work on this office pool.
Sure. I'll leave you alone.
My man's doing arts and crafts, bro.
He's so calm with that news.
Maybe he likes arts and crafts, bro. Maybe that's his shit. Yeah, that was interesting. I almost felt like he knew he couldn't work himself up.
The f are you doing calling my home?
Now listen,
Livia.
I want to see how you're feeling. Is that so horrible?
I'm fine.
It's not easy being abandoned, is it? And I heard you're keeping company with that Catherine Romano.
Never you mind about that.
Ah, she's so sweet. I remember my Johnny told me. She let him feel her up behind the Sons of Italy Hall.
My God. Damn.
I can't go out. I'm under house arrest.
Oh, my God.
I understand if you don't want to stay.
I enjoy you, Corrado. I always did. You stay. I'll bring food in.
I think on the History Channel the other night in the American Revolution. You know we're the only country in the world where the pursuit of happiness is guaranteed in writing? Where's my happiness then?
It's the pursuit that's guaranteed.
Yeah, always a fucking loophole, right?
There's a psychological condition known as alexithymia, common in certain personalities. The individual craves almost ceaseless action,
I was thinking about this.
which enables them to avoid acknowledging the abhorrent things they do.
I didn't know anything about the condition, but I was having this thought like he needs to be constantly doing
moving. Yeah.
What happens when these antisocial personalities aren't distracted from the horrible shit they do?
They have time to think about their behavior, how what they do affects other people, about feelings of emptiness and self-loathing haunting them since childhood, and they crash.
Okay, Junior.
Fighting fire? That's not too smart.
That mask on my boy.
The question is...
Wow, bro. That's like my dad.
Sweet Jesus. He doesn't snore. He roars, bro.
That brother growling. Hey, bro, you got it good now, bro.
Yeah, she's taking care of him.
With her bunions and everything.
Oh, wow, Christopher.
Forgot this man existed for a hot second.
Uh-oh.
The dipshit Carmine again. Still, go tell him no speeding in the neighborhood. I'm on it.
What's the matter with you?
Furio goes right over with him.
Do not speed in this fucking neighborhood. Cazzo fai? Tu non lo sai. Sembra fuoriano va.
Furio's his Italian anger translator.
Oh, I'm so dead, bro.
Oh, Agent Harry.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good to see you.
All the smart boys know
Interesting ending.
Yeah.
What another great episode. And I think what stood out to me in this episode was definitely the contrast. Well, there's multiple parallels going on, but specifically Dr. Melfi and Tony, I think were two parallels that I was seeing with one another. And I just want to start with Dr. Melfi. We were introduced to a new layer into what she's going through as being Tony's therapist. And I want to start off with Abe. What stood out to you with her and this new development that we're getting with her?
Yeah, I mean, the alcoholism thing I don't think was anything that we've seen with her really before this episode. I think there was like one episode where, if you guys remember, where she shows up to the restaurant, or Tony and her in the same restaurant, Toodaloo, like all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she might have been drunk at that point too, but like
she was. Yeah.
There hasn't been like this development of like her coming out as an alcoholic to me in this episode is kind of a surprise, is what I'll say. And it's very clear that that's linked with her relationship with Tony, the therapy, the kind of like push and pull and struggle that she has right now of like, do I treat him? Do I not? Do I stop? But I can't stop because he deserves treatment. But I know that it's harming me like mentally and emotionally. It's not good for my well-being. So all that stuff I think is playing into her struggling with the alcoholism and struggling just in general. And I think that it was very clear that something had to give. But I don't think we got like a full resolution in this episode to that struggle for her. But it felt like, we saw her in a couple of the therapy sessions, or one therapy session in particular where she was drinking beforehand. She tells her therapist that she was also drinking beforehand or between meetings when she sees Tony. And this last one didn't feel like she was drunk, like the last therapy session that they had.
With scene. Tony.
Yeah.
Well, she was dozing off though, right? Looking out.
Yeah, but I wonder if that's the medication, the new medication that she's on. Because the reason why I say that is like the whole rationalizing the personalities and like bringing that up. Like she didn't do any of that, like psychoanalyzing in the one scene that we saw where she was drinking right before. Like she was very general, very brief in her comments and just like kind of whatever. So it felt different. We didn't get a shot to see whether or not she was drinking, so could be, I don't know, but it felt different, and it felt like she was very much pushing him to confront this idea that he needs to always be moving, always be in the chaos, always be involved with the family, the organization, to not think about the horrible stuff that he does.
Yeah. Because when he stops to really think about it, I think that's when you start going crazy.
It's not even when he stops to think about it. It's like when he doesn't have enough to do, he stops and thinks about it.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, shoot.
Yeah. And then I think that's what causes him like anxiety and stress and all that stuff.
And the thought on that, he's like, wait, why is my medication not helping? Like, I'm taking medication, I'm medicating. But, the thing is, when you're dealing with anxiety, depression, or any mental health, you can't rely on the medication to fix everything. There's other steps that you have to take in order to heal, in order to
take care of yourself,
to take care of yourself and to grow. And I think Tony doesn't realize that. And and I want to know from Charlie, do you think that Dr. Melfi is a person that would you say has been hypocritical to Tony?
Not hypocritical. I don't think. I don't know. I feel like that's a loaded question. I honestly don't.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry.
But I mean, feels like you have an opinion on it. So
no. It's I was just thinking like basically like someone who doesn't like practice what they preach, essentially. Because she's out here telling him, oh, self-care and all that stuff, but then behind the scenes
she's
struggling as well. So that's why I'm wondering, like, do you think she's kind of being, a hypocrite, or also someone who is not truthful to who she is?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I mean, her job is a therapist, so she needs to be able to consult and to treat her patients, and she also goes to therapy, so it's like this weird paradox. I see it as a good thing, but I bet you if Tony knew that she also has a therapist, which I don't know if they revealed that at some point in the show. I don't think so.
No, I don't think he knows.
But if he knew, he probably would see her as less than and like not as able to deal with his issues and treat him in the way that he does. So I think there's that layer, but I do see that there's also the struggle that she has to actually take care of herself. And I think that's just in general, people who have mental health struggles, like even a therapist, like you can tell someone what to do, but taking your own advice is also very hard.
Yes.
And also taking the advice that you need to help yourself. You know what I mean? Just in general with people too. Like I think good people, sometimes they care and support other people so much that they don't give themselves a break or care about themselves. And I think that's kind of an example of it with Melfi. She's had some ugly moments. She's had some ugly moments in this episode.
In this episode, we saw a side of Melfi that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
And I think that was very apparent as to why they were doing this, is to show the side of what a therapist goes through. Well, it's, no one is perfect. No one is perfect.
Nope.
We're all going through so many things, so many battles. And I think I really like that they did this episode. It was really good in terms of bringing perspectives to other characters.
And to show just how much the Tony relationship is like bleeding into the rest of her life. Like she can't even enjoy a day with her, a dinner date with her son because you know, she's under all this stress and she's taking it out on other people, and it's like, it's insane. Like, we haven't seen that from her at all. And she, if she saw that behavior from Tony, she would label it as inappropriate. So back to your point, like, she's doing some of these things that she might chastise her patients for doing.
Yeah. With Junior and Tony, the house arrest episode, right? Now we're getting why it was named house arrest. Charlie, starting with Junior, I wonder, what do you think Junior's at right now? In his place, he's in house arrest. It seems like he's struggling to just like get it going again. He seems very stuck, and he finally got someone in his life, maybe potentially, who is just present with him and just looking out for him. So for Junior, what do you think stood out to you in this episode?
He feels stuck. I think I don't know what the hell they were saying. The procedure that he did was affecting his balls.
Something with his balls. I'm not a medical expert.
It's almost like he's castrated in a way, because he cannot be part of the action. He has to sit on the sidelines and watch everybody.
The symbolism.
Stuck in his house. Yeah.
That's fine.
And you know, he was so like having trouble making up his mind on what he wanted with that.
I was gonna talk about that.
Because there were moments where he was like super into the idea of, you know, having a visit from her and whatever, and then the next second he doesn't really care. I think maybe some of it had to do with the attractive young nurse that was there helping him, and then he's kind of like pushing what's her name, Catherine, I think, away. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's part of him that wants to stay young is kind of what I'm seeing, and he's having trouble accepting the things of old age, what comes with old age.
Yeah.
And also the fact that he's bound to his home.
Yeah, this for him, it's like a junior versus junior, where he has to come to terms with life, and I think that's really it's bothering him, and he's just trying to deal with it. And hey, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I thought it was. I honestly think the parallel between Junior and Tony was done very well, in the sense that I think they're both in similar situations, but what they need is like the opposite of each other. Like, it's very clear from the resolution that we get for both characters in the end of this is very different from each other. Junior is like going crazy. They're both going stir crazy, right? A little bit stir crazy, in the house, stuck, can't do anything. Junior is like resisting it, right? Like, he wants to, hit up this young nurse that's, coming to help him with the CPAP machine and whatever. He's, wants to get out of the house. He's selling coke on the routes, and like he's being told no and all this stuff. And it feels like he's trying to maintain some of that youth and maintain some of that control that he's had in his life. But it feels like the resolution for him is almost like opposite of like, I am getting older. Like the Catherine moment like felt almost like a settling down kind of like thing, like someone to take care of, someone to be with, even though he talks about like, oh, what do I have in common with her? And it's like, bro, you guys are from the same generation, you know, the same people, like you actually hit it off, but he's like resisting it because it's safe. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think that's the part of it that he was struggling to get to, but now it felt like he almost settled in that space. With Tony, it was like the complete opposite, where he was trying to embrace laying low, trying to embrace the calmness, listen to his lawyer's advice, all of that, and to potentially like, relieve some of that stress. And the inverse happens.
Yeah.
Right. Where now he's stuck. He has like no motion in his life, for lack of a better phrase, but like everything he's just like hearing from, his crew, that they're finding like World War II memorabilia and all that stuff. And he's not able to actually be in the action. It causes him to spiral and to feel stress and anxiety, to not be in control of that environment and to not be surrounded by that environment, because it's all he knows. So I thought that parallel was super interesting. Felt like like the show showing like the different generations and where they're heading and where they're at in this present moment. It almost feels like Junior's like time is sunsetting, right? Like we get the scene where basically Tony tells him like, no, you can't sell coke, and he can't say anything about it. So he's like losing his control. He's losing his control over, you know, being able to free himself from the garbage disposal. He's like trapped in like this old body and now this state of life that he's in, and he just kind of has to embrace it. He has no other choice.
And on the flip side, he's like talking sweet to the nurse and, you know, wanting potentially to hook up with her or whatever. And in the other side of things, Tony is here actually hooking up with the office hottie.
Yeah. That's a really good point out of the parallel. Yep.
They're in totally different places. Like the age thing, I think, like makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like Junior definitely wants to be doing that kind of stuff, but he can't because he's old.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony is still kind of young, so he can get away with it.
And I think now what's apparent to me, and this is just kind of like a prediction or just like a looking into the future of where we're at, it feels like, you know, it was kind of dueling factions before with Tony and Junior's crew, and it feels like Junior's kind of sunsetting a little bit. Like his power is lower, his influence is a little bit lower. It's clear Tony's the boss. So now it feels like it's time
for
Richie. Yeah. Like it very much feels like this is where things are going to come to a head, and with Junior kind of taking a step back. I could be reading into this a little bit more, but this is just what I'm getting from this episode and from what we've seen of Junior. Also not being able to be part of the action because he's on house arrest. It feels like an opportunity for Richie to really challenge Tony, because Junior was really the only one to challenge him before. And now Junior can't even like win an argument with him in the doctor's office.
Yeah.
And he kind of just has to take it. So to me, it feels like we're going to see, we got 2 episodes left in the season.
Yeah, we do.
There's got to be a big conflict with Richie and Tony. And it feels like it's
building up to something.
Up.
Yeah. I mean, that face he had, man, that was crazy.
And if we don't forget, the conflict wasn't resolved because he was told by the guy at the sanitation place that they had just sold coke off the truck at the deli.
The night before.
The night before. So he's clearly not listening.
Right.
To Tony. So there's a very, you know what I mean? There's an opportunity for conflict there.
It was so interesting. Like Tony was so calm and collected when he heard that news versus everything that was happening prior in this episode.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, why do you think he was so calm when that was happening? Getting that news.
I don't know. I think
he's controlling himself. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you go ahead.
I think he's realizing like I cannot get worked up about this right now, and he found something to keep his mind distracted, which was the pool for basketball or whatever he was talking about. Because if he got into that conversation, he knows what was going to happen. He was going to start to feel lightheaded, probably pass out, all that stuff. So maybe he's learning now to, because it happened like a couple times in this episode, all in relation to the same thing, Richie. And so I think he's learning that he has to just kind of like not think about that.
I have a different take to that. If we look at the moments where he struggles and he has these the anxiety in this episode specifically, it's after the conversation with Richie at the garbage man's ball, as Richie calls it. And he's like honing in on all these conversations about like really monotonous, boring shit. Everything that he like, it's just like, oh, the 3,000 tons of this conversation here, and it has nothing to do with anything. He gets stressed out, all that stuff, and then passes out. He starts feeling the stress again when he's in the house looking for a house with Richie, with Janice, and it's like, again, the monotony of life is like stressing him out. So I feel like Richie was involved in kind of the situations, but it wasn't directly the stress of like the mob or any of that stuff. So to me,
I disagree, but that's just because it's happening in relation to the conversation that he's having with Richie. So he had a conversation with Richie at the party about him not being able to sell coke, and then after all of that, after that conflict, is when he started to feel lightheaded. And then the same thing happens at the house when they're like, "Oh, talk to my Uncle Junior. I know you're still like, doing this, that, and the third. You're not like, do we have an agreement? Like, you're not supposed to sell coke." And that's when he, starts to feel it again.
Yeah, I think the only issue that I have is like, watch the conversations that he has with Richie, and watch right before and right after the conversations. in the conversation, the first conversation he has with Richie in the country club or wherever, right before he's talking to some guy and the guy's saying shit, he seems so out of it. Like he seems super disengaged, doesn't give a shit. As soon as he has a conversation with Richie, he flips. Super engaged in the conversation, very direct, and it's like he's focused. As soon as the conversation ends, he starts spacing out again.
Yeah.
And it feels like the action and stuff that actually has to do with the mob is what's like almost comforting to him in this moment, or not even comforting, but like it's stuff he can actually engage with and doesn't bring anxiety. It's like the enemy you know is better than the one you don't know kind of situation where he doesn't know how to engage in this world of like boring and monotonous and all of that. That's where I think the stress is coming from.
Yeah, so we have to look at the past episodes where he's had those panic attacks and what they were relating to.
I think in the past it has had to do with the stress of everything happening in the mob, and this is where now I feel like there's like this duality where he's stuck, like he's getting stressed out in either situation. You know what I mean? Like the boringness of it all stresses him out. When stuff gets super super complicated, it stresses him out and he gets anxious. Like there's no winning. Like in his life, it feels like there's no winning. That's what I'm getting out of it, and that's what I'm seeing from this episode anyway.
I'm sticking with my theory that
Richie
is like his kryptonite. It feels like right now, like Richie is getting in his head and it's bothering him, and I think Tony knows that he's the one person that kind of stands in the way of him having like absolute control. So yeah.
Yeah,
and the fact that he's associated with his sister and all that shit going on, like the two of them matched up together has got to make Tony's head spin.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, you saw in the house when he was looking at her like, with like the most blankest face. He was just staring at her like, what the heck is happening?
But that's the thing, like, and the reason why I believe my theory even more is like that conversation where he was really chilled out. The guy was telling him about the coke that Richie had just, like, again, it's related to the mob, all that shit. You know what I mean? I think if he came to talk to him about like, hey man, this paperwork and da-da-da-da-da, I think then we might have seen another scenario where he's getting spaced out, whatever, all that stuff. So that's where my thought is. I definitely think Richie's a source of stress for him, and I'm not discounting that at all. But I also feel like the monotony of life is, like Dr. Melfi was saying, allowing him to focus on all of the stuff that he actually does and like hyperanalyze it, fixate on it, and he's able to, like, in that sense, he's like confronting the monster he actually is. So again, I just think in either way he can't really win.
Before we close, the closing shot of the episode, did you guys catch any sort of symbolism in that? I don't know if I'm reading into it too much, but the sequence was the two cops come talk to Tony. The rest of his crew is kind of just outside hanging out, talking. You see Pussy toss away his cigar or whatever and go inside. He's the only one who leaves, right, when all of that's happening. And then they pan up to a sign of like something about pigs, whatever.
It was very fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was, I don't know if that was strategical, like with Pussy like leaving because the cops are there to investigate Tony, his crew, whatever. He's the rat. It could be
that, and I think
that was apparent.
Yeah. I think the sign with the pigs and all that was very symbolic of pigs, police, like that kind of thing. Yeah.
And it's so funny because like Tony, that was his element. You saw when that was happening, he was just like,
the chaos around.
He brought out the cigar and he was just like, okay, like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yep.
Do you think that's what it is? It's kind of like, I don't know anything else in my life. All I know is this.
Yep.
I can't find anything else. I can't find any new hobbies. My hobby, my life depends on this.
Yeah.
That's what Tony's struggling with.
I think it's that. And I think that he's now confronted with which is the lesser of two evils, being stressed out by all of this and like dealing with the constant chaos, or being stressed out by not having the chaos and fixating on the horrible shit that's going on and this horrible shit that you've been a part of and what a monster you are. I think that is his conflict, and he has to decide which is worse.
Bro, but like if he just keeps numbing it, it's gonna turn out really bad. Like it's gonna mess you up.
I agree.
To a point where he's already exploded, but I can't imagine if you keep numbing it, how bad you can explode even more.
And I think that's what Melfi was alluding to when she was bringing that stuff up.
It's like it's just gonna get worse for him.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
what does it
says-
say? Any size suckling pigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's like Italian sausage, sweet sausage.
Yeah.
Our specialty.
I mean, they always work out in front of there. Like that's their spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying
To have pussy go in and everyone stay out.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like
he's going inside. His
Mhm.
specialty is the sweet sausage suckling
Yep.
the pig's. I don't know. I'm reading into it too much. Suckling on the pig's sausage.
Hey, you're
something like
reading
that.
way too much
Yeah,
into this, bro.
man. Oh,
It's funny though.
No,
But
that's good.
look at how at ease this man is.
Yeah.
With talking
With
to the
feds. Like
This is what I'm saying. Like,
I'm also dying at freaking Polly, bro.
nah, Paulie.
I think
Go.
Paulie is my favorite
Yeah,
character.
he's
I
good.
like Paulie.
Polly with the, whatever he's doing, tanning.
Suntan, bro.
It's
Best.
hilarious.
But
This is
also
my
to have
It's
Paulie, it's
literally-
always it's crazy. They
It's
always
a
have Paulie by his
gray-ass
side.
day there. This man standing out with the Polly.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Nothing nefarious happening here. Just suntanning in the overcast day.
Oh my god.
But it was a good episode.
Yeah, this was good.
Solid.
Very good episode.
We got 2 more episodes left, season 2.
Yep.
Wow. Just feel like we just watched season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been great. With that being said, y'all, thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode. We love you guys. Please comment your thoughts and like this video and subscribe to our channel if you're new here. We love you guys and see you soon for more Tony Tuesday. Stay beautiful, y'all.
Wednesday.
See you
this time.